Hello and welcome to the MHG podcast. As usual, life can be miserable, it can be dark, so we're here to bring you a little bit of light, a little bit of joy, because I'm Bradley, joined by Stu. World Cup fever time, Stu. You watching the Women's World Cup?
Do you know, when I saw your tweet this morning, I immediately stuck it on my phone. I was working, but I just put it on in the background as New Zealand against Norway won. And it looked pretty good, but unfortunately, people keep asking me to do work. I have to stop watching the footy. It's not fair.
What you need to do is you need to get a debilitating disability that stops you working.
I do. I mean, I've got some already, but they're still making me work. It's not fair, really. So I'll see what I can do.
You need to get worse. Just a quick point of reference, actually, with regards to the World Cup. The opening game took place in, I think, Auckland in New Zealand this morning, directly after mass shooting in New Zealand, which is absolutely tragic. But have to say, great for the nation, not the shooting, obviously, but great for the nation that New Zealand the Black Ferns were able to get their very first ever World Cup win and hopefully lift some spirits at a time when it's much, much needed. So it's not positive what's happening with the outside world, but once again, we show that sport can start or help to heal. Thoughts with those affected by that, and I dare say we will talk about women's football and the Women's World Cup a bit more as the weeks go on.
Definitely.
Anyway, talking of stuff that goes on as the weeks go on, do you know what goes on every single week, Stu?
What's that?
Video games.
Oh, yeah.
They do go on every week. If you look on Steam, it's probably a release. There is definitely a release every week. In the past 20 years... do you think there's ever been a week where a video game has not been released in some capacity?
No, not at all.
I might just send you on all these really obscure challenges to try and find the last week of video games never released.
Yeah, like a challenge Annika. You can just have a camera pointing at my bum the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really shit challenge, Annika, though, where I just go, can you find out this really weird random thing about video games that no one cares about?
I enjoy that.
So, yeah, you do it. So, yeah, if you can find out the last week a video game was not released, then, it's probably like 1980 something, I'd imagine. No, 90s. I reckon 90s you probably wasn't getting as many weekly releases.
Home release only, yeah?
Yeah. Because Steam now is a game released every day, I'd imagine.
Oh, God, yeah.
But there you go, there's your challenge.
I will do my best.
Excellent. I'll forget about it by next week, by the way, so if you don't do it, I'm not going to remember.
Yes, excellent.
But anyway, what have you been playing that has been released?
Well, not only something that has been released, because obviously I wouldn't be able to play it if I hadn't. Although, yeah, early access, yeah.
I'm playing Vember at the moment. That's not been released.
Ah, yeah, good point.
Can't talk about it, though.
Okay, fair play. But I have been playing something that has been formally and officially released, and that's Exoprimal, which I wasn't sure whether I was going to pick up, but I was always interested because, I like things that are just kind of dumb blasters. They're my favourite, pretty much my favourite kind of games, and I've always been a huge fan of Capcom's output, especially in the shooty man's kind of style, and it gave me the vibe of kind of, bit Lost Planet, sort of bit Vanquishy, a little bit Virtual. It had that kind of vibe to it, and I thought, I'm going to pull the trigger and give it a whirl. And I've not had much time on it, but what I've played so far I've been enjoying, and it is really a dumb blaster. You go from, well, certainly where I'm at, it might open up a bit, but you go from area to area, similar to Destiny, really, where there's a big area, but it's split up into chunks where things get dropped in, like a horde mode, and you attack. I mean, there's no way I'll ever be playing PvP. I don't like PvP experiences. It's just me and a bunch of randoms against the computer, and the computer is a bunch of dinosaurs, which is really excellent. And you twinge your guilt for murdering vast swathes of animal life, but
already dead.
They're
already dead.
Exactly,
Don't matter.
they're extinct. So there was some
That's why it's okay to kill the Nazis. They're already dead.
Absolutely, always fine to kill a Nazi.
It's fine to shoot Hitler in the balls. He's dead. The ball. Sorry.
Yeah. That was important to specify. Final ball removal.
Need to humiliate him more, so it's fine.
Definitely. So it's kind of there was some spiel at the beginning about it. You travelling to alternate sort of dimensions to fight dinosaurs. I've got no idea why. I don't watch cutscenes, Brad.
It's Capcom, innit?
Yeah, exactly. And so you do that. You kill things. It's it seems like good fun. I'm enjoying it, and I'll enjoy it loads more when I manage to hook up with some friends to play, obviously, which is a possibility because it's on Game Pass, so it makes it a bit easier to force people into the experience. But on Steam Deck, it runs really badly, and I was really surprised, and it's got to be a coding issue, I think. I mean, I haven't gone into it in really major detail, but it starts off and it automatically detects low settings for you, which is fine, and it still runs like a dog, and I can't get it above 40 FPS and mostly around 30, which is really poor because it's a very basic looking game. It's attractive enough, but it's kind of like an enhanced PS3 game in visual terms, especially when you turn the details down. It's not doing anything complicated. And if you compare it to Doom Eternal, which is a little unfair because, nobody's it, but Doom Eternal runs like absolute butter on the deck, and it does way more and has far better graphics. And, this comes nowhere near it. So it's disappointing that you can't do it that way. Now, as I say, I haven't looked into it fully, but I will. And I'll try and tweak it a little bit. But yeah, no, not great. So I'm going to get it fired up on my computer, play with some friends, and, have some more to say on it. But so far, yeah, I'm enjoying it.
So when I looked at this has kind of been on my list so far. That's the official name for the list. Yeah.
Nice.
It's got action. I like a bit of action. I like a bit of shootery stuff. Don't mind the odd FPS or third-person action title. It's fine. I love dinosaurs. Who doesn't love dinosaurs? I'm ADHD and autistic. Of course I love fucking dinosaurs.
Of course.
Now, the thing that puts me off is when I look at the on Steam and I look at the game features. You got your Steam Cloud, your Steam trading cards, full controller support. There's no single player at all. Now, can I get enjoyment in 6 months' time when I pick it up for a £5 playing on my own, or does it force you to play online?
Oh yeah, no, it is fully online. I don't think there's any offline stuff.
I'm out.
Yeah, the single player campaign, it seems to be like Destiny. Where you're playing a single player campaign and you've got your own objectives, but they're always with people who drop in.
I don't like that. I'm looking at it, so this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at it, and you said, you mentioned Vanquish, and I just went, oh, yeah, it's Vanquish, the dinosaurs. I think I'm just going to boot up Vanquish.
Well, there's loads of good stuff like that you can go for, yeah. Yeah. No, it's probably not for you at all.
No, it is. I mean, because I like the Warframe, is it? I like that. I like Destiny.
Yeah.
Didn't mind Destiny. But Destiny's now free to play. Warframe's free to play. Any game like this, where it looks like it's also got a whole bunch of DLC and season parties and stuff, it should be free to play.
I agree.
Not 50 quid for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's no hook for me now. I want to. Everything about me goes, it's got dinosaurs. And it's futuristic and stuff, and exosuits. Yeah, I'm all in for that. But yeah, no single player. I can't do it.
No, I would say, yeah, steer clear, personally, for you.
Which is a shame. They should do one called Solo Primal. And just re-release, just do the actiony bits for just single people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because they love to be able to give people single-player content that they can get on a disc. Oh, yeah.
Oh, they love that. These game companies, yeah. It's a weird one, because, say, 50 quid, I'm expecting a full-blown, I don't know, proper game, not Fortnite with 50 quid.
No, it's kind of bizarre. It really is. I don't know. I don't know if it's doing well at all. And even if it is, it's probably only because of Game Pass numbers. I can't imagine.
That's where I might try it. Is on Game Pass. Is it streamable on Game Pass?
I don't know.
I'll have to have a look. I could look. You know,
you could.
I could actually press the icon on my Steam Deck that allows me to load like Game Pass streaming and have a look. But
why not?
I haven't. I might do after we finish recording. But yeah, Capcom are weird. They make about 4 or 5 things. You just go, yes, this is Capcom. This is brilliant. And then Capcom go, what are the other AAAs doing? Come on then. Let's do something stupid.
Yeah, I know. It's bizarre. Yeah.
What was that crappy Resident Evil online multiplayer thing they released? Operation Raccoon? Not that one, but it was Umbrella Corps or something.
Oh yeah, God, I've forgotten about that.
That was really bad. Was it a cover shoot? Free to play, whatever. It was bad.
I never even touched it. It looked so awful.
I mean, that could have tanked Resident Evil. Somehow it didn't.
I know. That in itself is a mystery. But yeah, they do make some fairly strange choices, it has to be said.
Yeah. But I'm hoping... So are you playing this? Have you bought this or you played it on Game Pass?
No, I've actually bought it. I'm that one person who's actually paid for it.
What I'm hoping for you then is that you find a lot of enjoyment for it when you load it up on the PC, and that you can get at least 50 quid's worth of value out of it.
Yeah. I got a key for about, I think it was about 32, so it's a bit better, okay. But still a lot of money. But
if you can get about 5 to 7 hours out of it, then I would go, right, okay, you've broken even.
That's how I look at it, really. Yeah.
Yeah, but Stu, this is why we don't touch the big games.
I know. It's the value proposition, isn't it? It's so low. It's such a low value proposition.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, moving on, because we've got to try and keep this one short because we're both busy today. I've been playing a sequel to a game that I thought I'd played, but I hadn't played. So I had to go back and play the original. I've been playing Oxenfree and Oxenfree II Lost Signals.
Right.
Now, I assumed... I thought I owned Oxenfree on Steam. Apparently I didn't. Apparently I don't own it on anything. But I swear I've played it, but I haven't. Anyway, which is kind of fitting with... Have you played Oxenfree?
No, really not my kind of game.
No. It kind of fits in because there's like time loops and memory things that goes on. So maybe I'm actually in the game. Who knows?
Could be.
But it's this supernatural thriller. Like the first game is you're like a bunch of teenagers. You control one of the teenagers. You're on this island. Spooky shit goes on involving radio signals and things like that, and time loops and teen angst is in there as well. Essentially, it does Stranger Things before Stranger Things did Stranger Things, and in my opinion, does some Stranger Things better than Stranger Things did Stranger Things.
Okay. Can we skip to the part where you stop saying Stranger Things?
Sure. It's a really good supernatural adventure. I wouldn't say horror, although there are some bits that make you go, "Ooh, this is tense." I don't get scared by horror. First game, absolutely brilliant. About 5 to 6 hours long. Maybe twice that if you want to try and find all the different endings. I don't. I always like the idea of your playthrough is your playthrough. I'm not bothered about extra endings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, you get your ending. And then the second one takes place 5 years after the first. And instead of playing the same bunch of teenagers, you play this person called Riley, who's gone back to her hometown to take on a job on this area called Camina, which is near the island where the first game took place. Events go on and supernatural shit happens. And I'm about halfway through, I think. And supernatural shit is going down. It's tense. It's impressive. The storytelling is really good. The way they the characters communicate is brilliant. It's very natural. So you've got moments where like someone might be talking, and you'll like this, Stu, because you can't ever do this, right? But someone might be talking, and they're on this little bit of a go, and you can press a button with whatever it is you need to say, and it stops them and interrupts them mid-flow in a very natural way. Right, so you can actually interrupt them. But also, if they're saying something that's really important, like I always am, really important, it needs to finish, you press your button to say what you want to say, but it'll make sure they finish the conversation. So again, it all comes in naturally. It's such a little thing that probably doesn't bother most people. But I always panic that if I've got to press a button and I'm going to maybe interrupt someone, like in the game, am I going to interrupt something important? But this kind of skips all that part of it. And
that's really clever.
You've got these. Yeah, it just all feels so natural, you know. The teams, like the characters in it, aren't all likable, but I think that's the point. They've all got personality. This radio frequency mechanic that allows you to communicate with the world or do certain things within the world. I don't want to spoil anything. Is really, really good. I really like it. You use certain signals to like unlock doors and things like that. And there's all these little puzzle elements. The island in the second one is like the area to you in is much bigger than the first, so there's more exploring to do. It calls back to the first one in ways, but not in ways that if you haven't played it, you won't get it. But it's more of the same. It's brilliant, and it's better than Stranger Things.
Not difficult to achieve, in my opinion. I bounced off that pretty hard.
Controversial.
I know, yeah. Not a fan.
But even does a thing. So in this one, it does that thing. Like in the. How much of Stranger Things have you watched?
Watched all of the first and second seasons.
Do you care about spoilers?
No, not at all.
Right. If you do care about spoilers, anyone, next couple of seconds, there's going to be some spoilers. So there's a bit in the latest series that aired where one of them like does stuff. She gets kind of dragged up into the air, sort of like in a trance sort of thing. And I saw it in this and just went, oh, okay, that's where they kind of probably got it from. But it looks and feels like much more in place with this one, not just because it looks like an impressive visual. But yeah, that happens. I don't know if that was a spoiler or not, because I explained things like I tried to explain what a carrot is to a wall.
Yeah, good analogy. Yeah. No, well, I mean,
but yeah, no, this is brilliant. I'm totally enamoured by this. This second one meant to be about 5 to 6, 7 hours. Yeah, brilliant. That's how long a good short story should be in a video game.
I agree. Yeah, it sounds like it's going about it the right way, and I know how popular the first one was, and I think it is. It seemed to drop off in popularity over time. I don't really understand why.
I think it just got forgotten about,
right?
More than anything, it's just like what I would say. Neither game is like the second coming. You're not playing either game and go, oh my gosh, this is doing things that no other game has done before. Other games have done what it's done, but what I like is at the pacing of both games so far. Like the first game pacing, I think is brilliant. The second game pacing is just as good so far. It ends at the right moment, and you feel satisfied with it. So it's got that. I just don't think. I mean, the first one came out in 2016. I didn't think it was that old. It's why I had to look to go and see, has this ripped on Stranger Things, or did Stranger Things rip on this? And this came out 6 months before Stranger Things. But yeah, the second one, they've obviously taken their time to write the story they want to write, and what they've done here is just, it's brilliant. It has dropped off. I do recommend picking the first one up, if you can get it cheap, because it's a fascinating story, and it's told really, really, really well, and I highly recommend it. And if you enjoy that, then you will pick the second one up if you enjoy it, because it's more of the same, just a bit bigger.
Fair enough. Yeah, sounds all right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Oxenfree II Lost Signals. I bet you wish I could lose my signal.
Never, Bradley. Never in life.
What's next from you? I can't remember if you said you had 2, 1, 2. I don't know what you said.
No, I haven't played anything new. I've been playing Shotgun King, obviously, fairly constantly, because I love it. It's amazing. It's just the best game ever made, and I will hear no more about it. Thank you.
It is really, really good.
It really is.
Moving on then, I've been playing another game. One I wanted to talk about a couple of weeks ago, but couldn't, because embargoes are great. That I think everyone's on the same page as me with this time. I think. I've been playing Viewfinder.
Yeah.
Which was a bit of a darling from the last Next Fest. And I did not play it at the Next Fest because I knew what I wanted, and I didn't want to have, like, if there's a game I know I'm going to play, I generally go, well, I'm not going to bother with the demo in the Next Fest because I know I want it and I don't want that experience soured or anything. So Viewfinder was one of those. basically, it's a puzzle game, first-person puzzle game, which uses manipulation. And we've seen it done with time manipulation before, physics manipulation, all that kind of thing. This uses like perspective manipulation, I think's the way of saying it, is what it would be.
Yeah.
There was a game that came out a few years ago, called Superliminal, where you kind of like had this perspective, like perspective-based manipulation. So like you'd pick a ball up and it was tiny, but you bring it closer to you. So it was bigger on your screen, and then you let it go, and it was actually big in the environment and stuff like that. You had to manipulate the environment to then get to solve the puzzles. It was all right. I found it a bit convoluted in places and didn't really have fun. A Viewfinder kind of takes that whole idea, but instead of using world manipulation, in like picking up physical objects and manipulating them, you use photos. So you use like this camera that you can take pictures with, and you take a picture of the scene, and then you place the scene wherever it needs to go. And then you might use that to create a bridge, or you might use it to create a ramp, or to create a hole somewhere to get to other areas. Like one's really clever where you've got to put like 2 batteries on a battery pad to open up a portal, for example, but there's only 1 battery in the world. But you think, I'll take a photo of the battery. But if you take a photo of the battery where it is, it then cuts the wire to where it needs to be to open up the portal. So you've kind of got to take a pre-photo of the completed circuit to make sure you've got that. Then take a picture of the battery on the portal to then turn it upside down to get the battery, to make the battery full, to pick up the second battery you've taken a photo of, put it on the portal, and then use your original photo to complete the circuit, which sounds really convoluted trying to explain it, but when you're actually doing it, it kind of gradually comes together and makes sense. But it uses that kind of manipulation in there. You can pick up these little, like, there's one of it, you can pick up like a Tamagotchi type thing, which you have to use to open up an area to get to another area to get to another area. And it's just so clever. And it keeps throwing little bits at you that change the gameplay up just enough just to make it feel just so fun and fresh every single time. And it's got a bit of a witness stroke the Talos principle overarching, there's something happening kind of thing going to it as well. But yeah, I'm absolutely one of the best one of the best environmental puzzlers I've played in years.
Wow, yeah, God. The high praise indeed, yeah, that sounds really good. And so is it, how difficult is it in comparison to, say, something like The Witness?
Right, so The Witness goes, because it's like those like individual puzzles that you do, and they do get complicated. So it's not as stupidly complicated as that gets. You do have to have a good old think at times. You do need to do a bit of experimentation. But there's no like punishment, so you get a rewind button. So say you take a photo of something and you go, bugger, I've taken the wrong photo. You haven't got to start again. You can just rewind, and it will tell you the points at which you've done certain things. And you can rewind to before that. So you might take a photo, not be happy with it, rewind back, and you can just start from there. Or you can rewind all the way back and start the level again if you really want. So it allows you to experiment. And I think it's that allowing you to experiment that really makes the game a challenge, but a fun challenge, where you don't just feel like you're being made to feel stupid all the time. You do feel stupid at times, but then you feel so clever when you do things that work. And a good puzzle game does that, where you feel clever for finding the solution.
Nice. Yeah, no, that does sound quite good. Yeah, I mean, they're not normally my kind of thing, but I like it when they're well constructed. I like it when you've got that kind of artistry and thought in there that's taking it away from the kind of action and can prove that there's, that there's a lot of viability in different methods of traversing worlds and stuff. Has it got a VR mode? Because it sounds like it'd be ideal for VR.
I don't think it has. That's not to say that might not be at some point, because I think you're right. I think it'd be brilliant for VR. I don't know how. I tell you what, I wouldn't be 100% sure that if you play this in VR, you might actually go break your brain.
Yeah.
in some way. I don't like when you play it. There's like some of the perspective stuff. It really like throws you in 2D. So I don't know what it'll do in VR. It'd work certainly because it is like a first-person game, but I'm not sure if it might break your own reality in VR.
I could well imagine. Yeah.
But yeah, it's I am just enamored by it. I don't think it's the best game of the year by any stretch. I think it's one of the cleverest and the better puzzle games I've played. Definitely the best of this type that I've played. But I think there's a lot more they could do with it down the line, and I hope we see a Viewfinder 2. If they got to take 15 years or 10 years, whatever it is, like Talos Principles do with Talos Principle 2, go for it and produce something that follows this up, because it's clever, it's brilliant, and do you know what? It's only about 7 to 8 hours long. Again, it's another one that's just nailed its time frame perfectly. It makes you feel good, it makes you feel stupid, and everything in between. And yeah, I can't recommend this one enough. And I think you get it on Game Pass as well, Stu. So
yeah. No, I mean, that's really cool. That's one thing that I would like to see shrinkflation actually happening to is games, because there's no need for them to be quite so gigantic. And I think it is like, it can be butter spread over too much bread kind of situation with a lot of them, particularly the more AAA you move. But that sounds 8 hours sounds like the ideal duration for this, which is about, I don't know, it depends on obviously how much gaming time you get, but I mean, that's either, if you're hammering it, it's about a week. If you're not hammering it, it's about 2 weeks. And if you're really, really slack, it's about a month.
It's a weekend.
Or it's a weekend
to some people. Yeah. Well, not to me. To be honest, I only play fits and spurts. So I like kind of pick up and put down, play an hour, put down for a bit, do some stuff with the kids or whatever, pick up again. It's just it all starts to add up. I don't really do like TV, like on a personal. I'm not trying to defend myself. I don't know why I started getting all defensive then. But you get people who have managed to complete like somehow 48 hours of like Call of Duty in the opening weekend. You're like, how?
Yeah.
How have you spent 48 hours sat there playing Call of Duty? So there are some people, and if you spend 4 hours a day watching TV a day, then that's 2 days worth to complete this. And yeah, you're right when it comes to game length. If I see something that says, it's 40 hours to complete the main story, I'm like, do I want to start this or not? Yeah, I've probably over the past 3-4 weeks put nearly 100 hours into Slay the Spire, which on How Long to Beat's I think they say it's a 3-hour game to beat like each character completely, like on its first bit. And I'm 70 hours in now on Ascension 3 for all the characters. And I know people that have put in thousands of hours, because it isn't telling you, this game is 1,000 hours to complete, because that would put everyone off. So you've got to make it either your game's short that everyone wants to play it, short enough that everyone wants to play it and gets satisfied, or the longevity comes because it's replayable for whatever reason. And a lot of games that are 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 hours aren't replayable. I love Persona 5. I'm not playing that again. It's 100 hours, Stu.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, no, that sounds good.
But yeah, Viewfinder, really, really good. Look, if you don't get Superliminal, get this. That's the takeaway from that. It's better than Superliminal. Cool. I think it's better than The Witness. And so far, the developers, as far as I'm aware, aren't horrible twats like Jonathan Blow.
Always a bonus.
Yeah. So there's that. And you can pet the pets, the dog, the cat. The cat. There's a cat.
Aww.
You can pet it.
Excellent.
Always a win.
It is. That is definite win.
But yeah, that's brilliant. That's it. I've been playing other games that I can't talk about. I can't talk about Vemba, but I will say that I've been sat. It's going to take me a while, because me and Edith are sitting down to play that, and she loves reading out the story bits, but I then do the cooking bits. But it's just lovely to be playing a game like that with her. So that's brilliant.
Cool.
And obviously, Women's World Cup. If you don't like the World Cup, I'm lucky, because I'll probably talk about it.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to catching up with some of it properly, because as I've said before on the podcast, I've fallen off footy a lot, and particularly the Premier League, but the Women's League is much more enjoyable for me. It's just the pacing, the the lack of fouling and acrobatics and
unless you're Katie McCabe, you want to see that.
Right.
You should have watched the. I don't know if you watched the Australia-Ireland game today. There was some fouling going on that.
Oh right, fair play.
Oh boy, they was just enjoying kicking the absolute shit out of Katie McCabe.
Ooh. No,
I don't blame them
not seen
because Katie McCabe snide.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No. I'll probably enjoy it when they do. Smack each other around because that's part of sport. But yeah.
Yeah. There's less histrionics.
Yeah. Sweet.
But yeah, Women's World Cup is well underway. Let's go teams. I actually don't care who wins it this time. I wanted England to win the Euros because what it would mean for women's football here, with it being held here and the development of the game. To be honest, I don't care who wins it as long as it's just enjoyable and helps the game grow.
Yeah, everybody wins.
So anyone but the US, really.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, they've had their time. They've been great. They've brought it forward, so it'd be good for somebody else to
box.
Pick it up.
Get back in the kitchen, ladies. No, what? Wrong channel. Sorry, that's for the whatever. Was it whatever, that male chauvinistic podcast that I see pop up now and again?
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure it's called whatever, but yeah, it's male chauvinistic, and they insult women all the time, basically. So yeah, I'm sorry, I thought I was on the wrong podcast then.
Yeah, well, maybe start one up, and you can do. Yeah.
You're not Andrew Tate, are you? Oh Jesus! See,
not
always get confused.
Yeah, because I'm so similar to him. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Stu,
Yes.
do you know what?
What?
You know what I should do?
What should you do?
I should shut up there.
Fair enough. Great. Well, yes, hopefully you can enjoy the football wherever you are. If you don't, just tune in if you've never seen it before and just see if you like it, because it's always worth a go with new experiences. And even though that obviously it's footy, it is definitely a new experience. And unless you've been watching it before, in which case it's an old experience. But you know what I mean. God, it's starting to sound like you, Brad. Anyway.
Yes!
Finally, 3 years and he's done it. He's converted.
Oh, Stu, stop going on.
I know, rambling. Anyway, hope you all have a good week. Make sure you follow all our content on the socials. Join us on Discord if you want to chat. And in the meantime, until next week, stay safe and stay sane.